Okay, so I got all of these cut out, and when I was cutting this one out, some of the silver came off. So when I glue it down, I'm just going to put some silver glitter on top of it. And I thought I would show you guys where I was at. Where we left off a while ago is pretty close to this area. I've done anything except cut those out, is all I've done. And I'm just going to glue these on. And then I'll take some silver glitter and cover up that spot. I think a stripe of it will be just fine. Oh, they're so cute. They give such dimension too. That's super cute. Let's do the door. That's cute. Look at it, it's like a little cottage almost. And then I'm going to put the window on, and while everything's drying, I'm going to go ahead and run that strip of glitter so it can all dry at the same time. Okay guys, so I'm going to show you this part, and I'm not going to do this on camera because I have done paper piecing before, but these are some stamps that I bought for my niece when she was first born, and I don't remember who they were made by because I took them out of the package, but I'm sure you can Google like princess stamps or whatever, and they came from this set and they have the frog and all that, and I'm going to use those stamps in the mini album. But I went ahead and paper pieced her and did a little glitter coloring with my glitter pen. And on this lady, I did some glittering up here on the wings and things like that. So I just thought they'd be cute on the front. I do have to make her a wand yet, so we can get her all ready to go. But I was kind of thinking that she would be super cute right here. And I paper pieced and I put some pearls at the top there. So I thought she'd be cute like standing in the doorway. And I thought this little lady would be cute right up here. I think that's precious with her little wand over our little princess. And the funny thing is that little princess looks just like my little Lydia, so it's so cute. Alright, so that's what we're going to do on the front, or at least that's, you know, where I'm headed. But let me show you, we've got the front done and covered. We've got the back done and covered. And now I want to go ahead, and before we do any of the embellishing like this, I want to show you the mini album. Okay guys, for bag assembly, for your mini bag assembly, you'll need 6 paper bags, and you will need strips of paper that are cut the length of your bag. Let me show you. I should say the width of your bag, and 1.5 inches wide. That gives you a good bend in there. So you're going to measure the end of your bag, and that's how you're going to make your binding pieces, okay? Alright, so you need this and this. This is super easy. I was trying to think of the easiest way because I do not like hard mini albums. This is real easy. Here's what you're going to do. Your bag has this piece on the top. The first thing you want to do is flatten this stuff out with your bone folder. It's already pretty, you know, it doesn't lay as flat as you want it to. So go ahead and flatten all this stuff out just as smooth as you can get it. Take the time to do that. You'll be glad you did. See how this one's so puffy? I'm going to just flatten all this stuff out. Alright, so they're all flattened. Now the next thing I want to do is I'm going to use this line, which is where the bag flips here, as a guide. And I want to turn this bag with that piece, I'm going to show you, with this piece facing down. So you want the flat portion of the bag facing you. And what you're going to do is you're going to fold up to where this edge folds exactly on the bag, and then you're going to score it. And when I show you, I'm going to do a side view so you can see exactly what I did. Okay, so I took this part of the bag and I folded it up, and you'll have this free edge. Okay, so you have folded it up and you'll have this free edge. Don't worry, it'll make sense as we get going. So I'm going to do that to all the bags. I'm just folding that piece up, scoring tight. You can even lift this little gusset piece up and score underneath it to get a really good tight score there. Now, the place I'm using, these are small bags. These are 3.5 by, let me see. These are 3.5 by 6 3/4. And the place I'm going to use them, I needed the bag to be smaller, but I didn't want to just cut away the bag. And I got to thinking, how could I make this work? And this is how I figured it out. Okay, I have taken all of my binder pieces and I've folded them. I've scored them in the middle, so you can probably see the score mark in the middle. So now what I want to do is fold them. I'm going to show you with 2 bags what we're going to do. These are 2 of the bags that we scored down. I'm going to put them bottom sides together and close them up, okay? The first hinge we're going to work on is these 2 sections in the middle of the bag where they meet. Okay, so what this is that portion of the bag that folds, and we are going to take our hinges and place it on top of it like a cap and close it down, and that adheres these 2 together. Okay, so that's how that hinge is going to work. So we're going to prepare the hinge, but we're not going to put them on yet. So we're going to prepare 3 of these, and just like this, and these we're going to prepare on the inside of the fold. And I'm just using some 1/2 inch score tape. Okay, so these 3 are prepared. Let's go ahead and use them. Alright, I'm going to take 2 of our bags, okay, with the flat facing up, the flat part in the back. And what we're going to do is sit them on top of each other and create this shape. Sit them on top of each other, okay? And then we want to line up the center piece like so, okay? And this is where our first hinge will go. I'm going to sit that there for a second. And I'm only going to peel off the adhesive on one hinge, on one side of the hinge, because I want to be able to work with it a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to adhere. I want you to be able to see this so good. I'm going to move these out of the way for now. So I just have those 2 ends of the bag. I'm going to adhere this with placing it really close to the fold, but not on the fold of our hinge. You don't want to cross over the fold because that will not give you a good close. Okay, I got that down. And now then, holding that top bag in place, peel this away, and then I can just close this down on top, peel off my extra adhesive I got there, and so I end up with this, okay? So I have 2 bags adhered at this base, okay? Now what I want to do, you have 2 options here. You can leave this alone if you want to, and you can put a piece of paper across the whole, across here and close this up, but here's what I want to do. I want to create a center pocket like this so I can put something to pop out of it, okay? So here's what I will do. I will take some adhesive, and let me say this too. You want to use a wet adhesive in this part, because if you use a dry or an ATG or anything like that, when you put something in it, it might stick, and this will dry, so it's not going to cause that problem for you. So put some adhesive, and don't go too crazy with it. If you're using a good adhesive, just get a good bit on there, not too much. And I'm even going to run a bead of the adhesive right down the center of the 2 bags, just as an extra hold. So I'm going to run adhesive on the side here, down the very center in kind of the crevice there between the 2 bags, just as a little extra support, and then down this side. And now this is going to make a pocket. So what I'm going to do is close this up, seal it tight, and I don't want to press it all down just yet in case I have any that bleeds out. I want to clean it before I close the entire thing. And now I just want to sit something heavy on it, and actually I'm going to sit it off camera, but I'm just going to take, if you have some books or if you have anything heavy that you can sit on it and let that dry. Okay, let's do another one. I'll talk you through it again. You got your flaps facing up, the flat part in the back, so we're going to take and put 1 bag with the flap facing up here, and one bag with the flat facing on top of it, putting them together in the middle and creating kind of this W. You see that? And then I'm going to get a hinge ready by peeling off one piece of the tape. Oops. One piece of the backing. Okay. Something else I learned. Make sure you line these up by this piece in the center and not by the edge, because these may not be the same when you finish, and we can always trim that off later. So line it up by the middle here. If you need to, you can pull these pieces out of the way for just a minute. And then lay this down. Before you adhere it, go ahead and get it where you want it before you stick it. Okay. Then peel up this backer. And stick it down. Okay, so now you should have this. I'm going to open it up again and create my center pocket. Alright, so I've got that pocket and we're all adhered and we have this deal going on. Now we're going to work on the hinges that will put these packages together. You'll need 2 hinges. I'm going to open those up. Okay, and on these, I don't care which way you fold them as much because it's not going to matter as much. Okay, so on these 2 hinges we're going to add some adhesive. I keep turning those the wrong way for myself. We're going to put adhesive on both of the pieces just like we did a while ago. So this, while my other ones are drying, this is going to be the top portion of our mini album. So this will be the portion that goes against the cover. Okay, so what I want to do here is take one of these that I've made my hinges and undo one side of the adhesive, just like so, and I want to put the fold edge at the edge of the bag and line it up evenly with that edge of the bag. Okay, now this will be what will attach our album to the cover. Okay, of course we haven't attached our whole album yet, but this will go to the cover. So I'm going to go ahead and attach the album now. Okay, so here's one of the pieces that we made earlier with our pocket, and you can see that this doesn't have a hinge. Well, I do not want to do a cap hinge here, because if I do, it doesn't give me the movement in the binder that I want. If I cap hinge this, it makes this page really snug, and I don't want to do that. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this hinge, and I'm going to peel it open, or peel off the backer, and I'm going to do one side at a time, okay? And I'm going to do just what I did to the front side. I'm going to fold this, get that adhesive on, and get it right to the edge, and attach. Like that. Then I'm going to peel off this side. And now I'm going to take this little set we made earlier and put it right to the edge. And attach that one. Okay, so now we're kind of working with this. See that? A little bit of adhesive here. Clean that off later. But you have this kind of movement now. Okay, and then we'll put the last one on, doing the same thing. And all I need to do now is put this piece on so it can attach to the back cover. Now this little hinge gets attached here. And then we'll flip through it and kind of look at it. Okay, so when I hold it together, you see we've got the 2 pieces that will attach to our cover. Okay, and then this has this give in it. So it gives us a little bit of room to kind of fill the book up and make it whatever width we want. That's the reason I did not attach these as caps. If I attached everything as a cap, I wouldn't have had all this movement, and I like the movement. So this way, when I put my album together, I can have a little more movement as far as the center pages, so we can put, you know, wider things in there. Make sense? So it's like this, So you can see we can have more move. But once we put our cover on, we will establish, you know, how much we want. Which that looks pretty good to me. I think I can get a lot in there. So now let's talk about cover. Now I've already shown you how to put it together, and at first I want to show you my thought process. At first I was going to have this to where it opens like this, and this album would lay here, and then this would be the topper like this, and it would open like this. But then I realized if I take this and turn it this way, okay, and then put this on top, when we open it, it will open so much easier like this, and you can just flip through. And the other cool thing is, the way the pockets are, and once this is all adhered down, it'll make sense. The way these pockets are, they have these little pieces, and what I'm going to stick in there, this will work just perfect to do them this way. So we're going to actually adhere it down that way. So what I'm going to do is do the top side first, and all I have to do is peel this away from where we put this together earlier. And then I'm just going to eyeball the center. And I want to go kind of low, so I'm actually going to line it up at the very bottom, and I'll show you what I mean by that. You see how I went to this corner and this corner? I really wanted it low like that. Now I'm going to peel this off and put the top on. And I want to try to get it lined up good, just like I did. Okay, so now when we open this, it should do this. Look, and you can like flip through, flip through, flip through, and this will be perfect for her. It'll be very interactive for a little one, and it'll go like that. Now the other cool thing I like is, because of the way we made the mini album and gave it all this give, when we finish, we should be able to stand it when we totally finish, because there's a couple things we're going to do, and I'll show you how we're going to make that work. But for now, this is where we are. Look, it's like a big accordion, watch. And it won't stay like that. We're going to do something to change a little bit, but so far we've got that give in it. Look how cute this is. Now, you might want to have gone ahead and put all your papers in first and all that kind of stuff in your mini album, but I'm going to do that now, so it'll be fine. We'll just, you know, lay and stick, lay and stick. The one thing I couldn't decide was, did I want to stick this piece down too? But I don't think I do. I think I'm just going to put something in here to kind of cover my hinge and go from there. Alright, so the next thing I want to do is go ahead and start doing all of my mats for the mini album, and we will discover the sizes real quick. Okay, so I got my post-it note, I got a pencil, and my album, and I'm going to do the measurement for my cut. And I'm going to take this little tiny ruler, which comes in so handy here, and we'll start with this one, and we will measure it. Now I want it 1/4 of an inch shorter than the bag. The bag is 4 3/4, so I'm going to cut this one at 4 1/2. And then I want it 1/4 of an inch shorter than the width, and it's 3 1/2, so I want this one at 3 1/4. Okay? Now I'm going to count how many of those I'll need. I will need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and I want to put one back here, makes 12. Now the interesting thing is this size is the same as this size, it just doesn't have the flap, so you'll be cutting the same a good bit. Okay? And then I want to cut these little, or measure these little flaps, and this flap is 2 inches, so I'm going to cut 1 3/4. And I know the width, because I've already got it, that's 3 1/4. Let's count how many we'll need. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. So now I can get to cutting. I'm going to go ahead and decide on my tags. And I want my tag to stick out a little bit. And I notice if I cut them at 5 inches, the entire tag will stick out, but it looks as though it will still close. Let me do a double check on that. It will. But I think what I'm going to do is cut the tags exactly the right length, which is 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. It should be, yep. And now what I want to do is, and then I'll add a tab pull in there. I think that'll be the better way to go. So I'll need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because we use 6 bags. So now we can cut. Now when you're cutting, you want to measure twice, cut once. I measured before I did the video to make sure, and then when I did my measurements again, they all matched up. So now, I went ahead and did these just to get these over with. This is my first 12, so I've done this first set of 12. Now let's do the set of 6 here. And I'm using my scrap bin, so I'm trying to find pages here that I didn't use here. Just so I can have more pages. I'm going to add that in. I think it's pretty. And I like this heart. Now if you have 6 different pieces, that's great. If you don't have 6 different pieces, it's no big deal. Just cut 2 of 3 and you'll be fine. So on this one, I'm going to need 1 3/4 by 3 1/4. I'm going to cut the 3 1/4 first. I like, especially if I'm using my scrap, I like to cut the larger measurement first to make sure I can get what I need out of it. Now I want to show you what I've done here. I decided that with my bags, because I got to thinking, and if I cut this at 3 1/2, it's going to be the very same width, and I might have trouble getting it in and out of the bag. So I'd moved this one down by 1/8 of an inch, but I'm leaving the length where it is because the length is going to be fine even if it sticks out a little bit. So 4 3/4 by 3 3/8. So I'm going to cut my 3 3/8 inch strips first. And if you're confused about 1/8 of an inch, if you know you were going to cut 3 1/2, just move down 1/8 and you're where you need to be. And there we go. So now I have all of my insert tags for inside of the bag. I can move those aside. Now we need to cut those mats, which are going to be this measurement. So now all of my pieces are cut, and as I cut, I just stacked them on top of each other. So I know that these are the mats for my tags. Okay, these are the small pieces for the flaps, and then these are the mats for the bags themselves. So now what I want to do is do any embellishment I want to this page before I put it down. And the first thing I want to do is I want to round the edges with my quarter rounder. With my corner rounder, and I'm going to do them on 1/2 inch. I think this is something that makes a project look really professional, is this rounded edge. If you don't have this, you can always use like a circle punch or something like that and kind of slide it in from the top and cut it. But if you don't have one of these, this is a good tool to put in your arsenal. Okay, so now everything is rounded and everything is ready to go. The one thing I did different was these smaller tabs, I only rounded the tops of them, and on my actual tags that are going in the bag, I only rounded the tops of those. I thought that would look good when they were finished. So now I'm going to ink these. Now, you may not want to do this all at one time, but for me, it just makes things easier. I just kind of knock it out. So I'm going to grab my ink and my blending tool and just go to town. This keeps me from forgetting anything because I am the #1 about slinging on some adhesive and going. And let's say you're making, you know, a big album or whatever, and you want to sit down and do these at night. That won't be a problem. You can sit down in front of the TV and do them.